In today's video, we're going to be going over a brief day in the life of what it looks like to be a full-time digital nomad, while also talking about why 2025 is one of the best times to get into wholesaling real estate. And we're starting the day where everybody else starts their day, from bed, and then we're going to get rolling from there. So we're going to go ahead, get some clothes on real quick, and then bounce over to the gym and dive into reason number one why 2025 is the best time to get into virtual wholesaling real estate.
So 2025, why is this the best time to get into wholesaling real estate? First off, workout, going in the background, we're doing a pull day. So we're doing back, biceps, traps, all that kind of jazz. But with wholesaling real estate, I think one of the things that really stands out to me the most is how quickly you can actually make $10, $15, $20, $30,000. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to happen overnight, and it does still take a lot of work, a lot of effort. A lot of times it can take some money up front to put into whether it's leads or cold callers or any of the softwares that work. But I have seen countless people, either one-on-one clients, people in Freedom Fundamentals, people that just reach out to me on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, who are closing $10, $20, $30,000 deals in a matter of 30 to 60 days from starting. That's rare, but it can 100% happen, especially if you have the right game plan going into it. And another big part is how simple it is and how repeatable and scalable it is. And just a couple examples of that. You guys know my guy Ben, absolutely love this guy. He started wholesaling about 6 to 7 months ago and now is consistently doing $30,000 to $40,000 a month, and he is just getting started. I've got another client who in a matter of 6 weeks has gotten 2 contracts already assigned, set to close, another 6 under contract with another 12 verbal acceptances. And then there's another girl in the community who she was able to go from 0 to consistently doing 3 to 5 deals every single month in a matter of 90 days. Now, again, those are not always going to happen, but the fact that someone can go from 0 experience, 0 wholesale knowledge, no proper training, none of that, and they join a group or they watch YouTube videos or they do whatever it is that they do, and then literally within a matter of a month or so, they can be on pace to do $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year is crazy. Are there other businesses that you can do that? I'm sure there are, but just the simplicity of wholesaling is one of the things that I absolutely love, right? There's no coding, there's no technical experience. You don't have to have a big degree. You don't have to spend years and years training. You don't have to do all that kind of stuff. You can literally just pick up the phone, start talking to homeowners, run numbers, and make offers, right? I mean, I talked about it in this video, but I've got the starter kit that you guys can download. It's free. It takes you through step-by-step getting started. There's tons of free ways to close deals. There's paid ways to close deals. And the biggest thing that most people don't get is the simplicity of it once you have that nailed down. In the beginning, it sounds very confusing. It seems overwhelming because it's a whole brand new business, which is totally understandable. However, once you understand how the process works and you understand the terms and the jargon and the lingo and all that kind of stuff, and you've done a deal, you realize the simplicity behind it and how scalable it truly can be. So if you are getting into it, stick it through, get your first deal, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about, right? If you're just getting into it and you're like, oh, this is too hard, this is complicated, I'm gonna give up, you're never gonna get to that point of understanding the simplicity of it. So stick through it, get your first deal, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So we just got here to the Lions Dive Beach Resort. It's one of my favorite cool places to work from. I got my little chair right over there. They got Wi-Fi, outlets, drink service if you want to get drinks or sparkling water or whatever. And this is the view. So this is one of my work spots for the day. Gonna hang here for a little bit before I head back to knock out some more busy work. But the second reason why wholesaling real estate, getting started in it today versus 5 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, as to why it's so easy, is you can literally do every single thing you could possibly need to do from a laptop. You can find buyers from a laptop, you can find leads from your laptop, you can make phone calls from your laptop, you can sign contracts from your laptop, you can get the money wired to your bank account, which doesn't require you to go into any kind of bank or title company or anything like that. And the amount of free education online, like this YouTube channel and my other social media platforms, and all the other people on social media teaching you how to do it, is insane. When I first got into about 5 years ago, there was nowhere near as many people online talking about it or giving away as much free information. I remember the very first person that I paid for coaching was $12,000. Now there's people, such as myself, that give it away for 20 bucks. or free. Again, my YouTube channel is free. I teach you everything how to do, and I have the free wholesale starter kit, which you guys can download below. It's literally step-by-step what you need to do to get started wholesaling real estate today. Once you download that, there's scripts, contracts, how to get leads, how to get buyers, everything. There's no reason that you can't start wholesaling outside of you don't take the action to do it. That's the number one reason why so many people don't actually close deals, is because they just won't put the work in, they won't put the effort in, and they won't start picking up the phone and calling people. And when it comes to finding leads and finding buyers, if you guys have not watched my free training videos on how to do that, I would go watch those, because if you're like, oh, well, I know how to fill out a contract and I have buyers, but I don't have leads, go watch the lead video. If you're like, I have leads, but I don't have buyers, go watch the buyer video. It's free education. If you've watched all those videos that I've published and you downloaded the starter kit and you have everything you need and you're not closing deals, number one, you're either doing it wrong. Number two, you haven't done it long enough. Or number three, you're not good enough at it yet, which is okay. It's a new skill, you're starting a business. It's going to take time, it's going to take effort to get good at this. And then if you're gonna say, yeah, well, Eric, a lot of the best tools and softwares and leads are paid and I don't have any money, then look at your budget. What are you spending every month? You make money, you have a job. If you don't have a job, get one, and then go make money and spend as little as humanly possible. Go look at your living expenses, not your business, your living expenses. Can you reduce your rent? Can you reduce your car payment? Can you reduce your food? Can you stop using Uber Eats or DoorDash? Can you stop buying alcohol? Can you stop buying stuff that doesn't directly impact the success of your business? You can, right? Take the 2-3 months, sacrifice on your spending to then be able to reinvest that into your business. And realistically, with the setup that I talk about in the starter kit, which again is free, you can be closing deals cash in your hand within 35 to 45 days, maybe 60, depending on your closing skills and your time that you have to put into it every single day. But you can go close deals in as 60 days or less with the starter kit. And if you don't have the budget for any of the tools in the starter kit, look at your spending. Put away that money and invest it.
Also, one of the greatest parts about doing this all virtually from your laptop is that your workspace can look like this. And maybe in between talking to homeowners or pulling data for virtual assistants or whatever it is, you want to go walk in the water, take a little dip, cool off, you can do that. Hard to do this in an office setting, which is another reason why I absolutely love to travel.
We are back at the house. I've been sitting over on the couch doing some working on some of the back end stuff. Typically, I like to do some of the more like open-minded, generalized work at places like the beach or whatever, where there are more distractions, but the thing that I'm working on takes slightly less focus, versus if I have a really focused task that I need to dial in for, I will typically knock those out at home. Typically, I usually end up working pretty late most days because there's just always something else to do, and I honestly enjoy working, at least for now. But now that we're back, I wanted to talk about another reason as to why wholesaling real estate is so easy to get into now. One of the biggest things is the availability of talent. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean getting a legitimately good cold caller, or getting a good closer, or working with a reputable transaction coordinator, or getting a good dispo manager, or whatever, at reasonable prices. Being able to find that talent has never been easier. There's more and more people that are looking for these jobs that want to work for people like you. For example, right now we have most of our team is from Egypt. We're looking at bringing on some people from Latin America or South America. And the great part about that is, number one, cost. Cost. If you want to hire a full-time cold caller that's in America, it's probably going to be at least $10 to $12 an hour, if not more. But with hiring someone from Egypt or Latin America, because the US dollar goes so much further in those countries, a normal living wage over there seems like pennies to us, because us as Americans, we're used to things being so much more expensive than the vast majority of the rest of the world. You can get a very qualified cold caller for $3.50 to $5 an hour. You can get a really good acquisition manager for $7 to $10 an hour plus commission. Same with disposition manager. And then I've already talked about the leads and the buyers, and again, the free trainings on those are also on my channel, so go watch those if you haven't yet. But realistically, between paying for leads, getting the right buyers through different paid softwares, acquisitions, dispositions, and everything you need as far as like owning a company to grow and scale your wholesale operation, you can hire people on and have the vast majority of it outsourced. You still need to know what you're doing, so don't just go think you're gonna skip past the learning phase and just hire people. because then you're not going to know how to manage them because you don't know what they're supposed to be doing. So don't make that mistake first. But you can have your leads, your acquisition, and your disposition manager and your buyer software or your disposition software for like $3,500 to $4,000 a month. Now I know you might be thinking, Eric, that's a lot. Maybe it is if you're just getting started. So you don't start with all that. Maybe you just pay for leads. There's the lead provider that we work with down in the description. It's $99 to get 25 motivated off-market seller leads. You should be able to close 1 in 25. I can't guarantee you will, because maybe you're terrible at closing, which is fine, but that's a skill you can learn. So if you have $100 or $300 or $500, you can put that into paid leads. You then start working the leads, close a deal or two, and then you reinvest into growing and scaling your company. But one of the biggest mistakes that so many people make is they go close a deal and they buy something stupid, like a Rolex, or they go on some stupid vacation. If you're just starting your company and you just closed your first or second wholesale deal or third wholesale deal, and you're contemplating what shiny object to pay for it, or to buy with it, your priorities are out of whack. Unless you're like, I want to wholesale one deal, buy a Rolex, and then I'm done wholesaling. If that's really your goal, then go for it, sure. But if you're like, I want to build this to a company that does $200,000, $300,000, $500,000, $700,000 a year, $1 million a year, and you're looking at buying a Rolex when you're first getting started, you really should reevaluate your priorities. And this is what we talk about primarily in Freedom Unlimited, which is the higher level group and the one-on-one coaching that I do, is if you've done a deal or two or three, or you're doing 1 to 2 deals a month and you want to scale, that's when you start looking at hiring people and saying, what tasks can I outsource? What are the tasks that I can hire out that cost me the most amount of time that are not too expensive to hire out? For example, lead generation. If you go the cold calling route, you can just hire a full-time cold caller. If you go the PPL route, which is the one that I talk about a lot, lead generation is already outsourced. And then the next step would be hire an acquisition manager who would be the closer for you. And you train them on how to buy the right PPL leads. So then as far as the lead flow and the closing and the follow-up and the comps and all that kind of stuff and the negotiating, you're hands off. Now you're gonna have to train that person and help that person and double check their numbers and all that kind of stuff because they are still your employee and you do still manage them, but all that can be outsourced. And then the next step would just be they get the contract signed and then you sell it. And that's the next step. And then as you get that system down, then you can hire on a disposition manager. That disposition manager comes in, you train them, you work with them, you get them to understand how the process works, and then the acquisition manager is getting leads and getting contracts, sending it to the disposition manager. Disposition manager then sells it to the buyers, and then your job is to manage those too. And that's it. Now, 2 full-time employees is not gonna get you $1 million a year business, but it could do 200 grand, it could do 300 grand. You can literally start a wholesale business today, right now. Again, the starter kit has everything you need. Everything. Contract, scripts, leads, training. It's free. You can go download that. Then you can go close the deal in the next 30 to 60 days. And then you can reinvest into more paid leads. And you can close a couple more deals. And you can hire an acquisition manager. And then get that system rolling. And then hire a disposition manager. And then get that system rolling. And in literally the next 6 months, you could have a wholesale company that is primarily ran by overseas employees from Latin America, from Egypt, from the Philippines, from wherever, and your job is to manage them. And that's it. And that can do 200, 300, 400, 500 grand a year. That's the crazy part. But too many people don't get to that spot because they've convinced themselves and they've been lied to on social media that wholesaling real estate is the easiest business to do on the face of the earth. It's not. No businesses are easy. If you think that you're gonna get into wholesaling real estate and it's gonna be an absolute walk in the park, it's gonna have no problems, it's just gonna be $10,000 check after $10,000 check, don't even start because your expectations are unaligned and you're gonna give up. Understand that it takes time, it takes effort, it takes money, but also understand that if you put the time in, you put the effort in, and you put the money in, within literally 6 months, sometimes even less, you can have those employees trained. You can have the system running on 85 to 90% autopilot. So then the question is, are you ready, willing, and able to effectively eat shit for 3, 4, 5 months until you get that system up and running? If you're not, don't start any business. Every business you start, you're gonna eat shit. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna suck. There's always a new problem to solve. Always. The problems never stop. You, the person watching this video, just get better at handling the problems and better at solving the problems. And then if your goal is to make 300 grand a year and work a couple hours a day, that's it. You're good. You got it. And if you want to grow it to a $5 to $10 million company, that's obviously going to take exponentially more effort. But I would bet that the vast vast majority of you guys watching are okay with making 2, 3, 4, 500 grand a year working a couple hours a day. It is possible. I know it sounds too good to be true, but don't forget, the too good to be true part comes after 6 to 12 months of eating shit and learning and failing and probably losing money and having sleepless nights and being stressed out and not knowing where your next deal is going to come from or this or that, which is part of the process. If you're not able to handle that, maybe entrepreneurship isn't the path for you. But if that is the path for you, if you genuinely are like, Eric, I can handle the stress, I can handle the concerns, I can handle the uncertainty, I can handle putting out fires all the time, start your own business. Of course, I'm gonna say wholesaling real estate or real estate in general. That's what I do, that's what I love. That and traveling, and I've combined the two, which is great. But yeah, just be honest with yourself. Set correct expectations in your own head. Can I actually stick to this? Can I actually put in effort every single day? Can I actually cut my budget and reinvest the savings from my living into my business? Your quality of life is gonna go down a little bit at first. That's okay. One step back, 17 steps forward. Make the sacrifice. Speaking of sacrifices, we're gonna cook some dinner. And it's not gonna be an amazing, super flavorful, fun dinner with a bunch of burgers and stuff that I'd like to have because we're sticking to a diet. It's called sacrifice. So we're gonna get to that. All right, so we're over here eating some dinner, and I am watching this really cool video from this guy. I don't know if you guys have seen the video yet, but it's about building a 7-figure real estate business from anywhere, as in like anywhere in the world. So if you guys haven't seen this video yet, definitely go check it out. It's pretty sick. I just found this guy on YouTube. I've been watching it, but you know, it talks about like hiring and firing and scaling and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys are interested in wholesaling, this dude's got a pretty cool YouTube channel. I would definitely go check it out.
That brings the full day to a close. That's day in the life, kind of what I do. And if you guys have questions on getting into wholesaling real estate that I did not answer, or maybe you disagree, maybe you think now is harder than ever, let me know. But just ending the night doing some ChatGPT. I have a COO, ChatGPT, that I talk to almost every single night and every single morning just to run over the day, what went well, what didn't go well, things to add, things to take away. And then, of course, I have my mindset calls with Henry G., the host of the Positive Mindset Podcast, to help me mentally. And yeah, so that's what a day in the life is. If you guys need help wholesaling, click that subscribe button, watch the videos, ask me questions. I'll see you guys on the next one.